Like and subscribe right now, or else this is going to be in your bed tonight. r/AskReddit. What's the worst thing to wake up to? Someone yelling at you. It can ruin a whole day. I worked with a kid who experienced this often. He would come to school out of sorts and anxious little things would set him off at school and he would lash out. He would be punished, labeled a bad kid, sent home to this anxiety-inducing household again with parents who were angry at him. Poor kid was prepared to fight/fly most of the day. And of course with all of that going on, he was learning nothing and getting behind his class, which made him more anxious because he didn't want to look stupid. Ugh, that's a vicious cycle. I feel for him. Police. I woke up to police chasing a guy through our yard. He tripped over the bikes I had leaning against the house right where my bedroom is. That's the only reason the cops got him. There was so much yelling and threats to shoot until finally the guy cooperated. That was like January 2nd. Same thing happened to me, except the dude being followed by the cops was my underage brother who stole my grandma's truck and freaked when police tried to pull him over for going too slow. He crashed into the house. Thank God I was getting a cup of water at 2 AM, otherwise I'd be crushed by the caving in wall. About 18 years ago, the police were banging on my door. I was asleep. Since I wasn't working that day, he asked me if there was anything wrong and why didn't I go to work. I told him I didn't work Saturdays. He said call your manager, she is worried about you. Apparently, the new manager put me on the schedule when I was supposed to be off. Since I never missed work or called in, she thought something happened. It was sweet of her to care, but I was really freaked out when I saw that cop. The Dallas SWAT team breached the hotel room door of the room next to mine one night. Thus wasn't some hideout meth motel. I was at the Hyatt Reunion Tower. I'm pretty sure the loud crash of them taking down the door is what woke me, but the first thing I hear was get on the ground, show me your hands. It took me a secretary to figure out they weren't in my room. Then I tried to find the least likely spot to get shot through the wall. After the yelling stopped, I peeked out in the hall and the guys in body armor with rifles told me to go back in my room. The guy's girlfriend yelled at the cops for an hour. It sucked. Edit. I was testing out a Fitbit for sleep tracking. This was the first night I wore it. This is what your sleep chart looks like when the cops kick in the room next door. Yep, when I was 13. A cop woke me cause they were busting my mom, and I got taken to foster care. Jesus, what your mom do, if you don't mind me asking? I don't mind telling. That time was drugs and prostitution. She's been in prison a few times. Sadly, she passed away 2 years ago. She never gave up the drugs, but did stop the prostitution. In college I lived on a pretty sketch street. One morning about 3 AM I was woken up to banging on my door and shouts from police outside. At first I was going to ignore it, but they kept at it, and I finally decided to just answer in my underwear. They asked if it was my car out front in the parking lot as they were pulling someone out of it. I didn't. Someone broke into my car, but must have been too messed up to complete their mission, and passed out in my car. The cops said one of my neighbors called the police and told them someone was passed out in a car. There wasn't anything in my car to steal and nothing seemed missing. He'd dropped like 3 Bud Lights on the floor of the car and the cops said I could keep them. Score. Free beer. That time the beer fairy came. I've actually done this. I was walking home by myself one night, totally wasted, and I was certain someone had started following me. This was pre-cell phone. I started pulling car door handles until one opened, then just got in and locked all the doors. At some point I passed out, assuming I waiting until I felt safe enough to make a run for it. But thankfully I woke up with the sun and was able to get the duck out of there before someone found me. Sounds like a win. A call from work wondering where I've been all morning. That pit in your stomach when you wake up, look at your phone, and see you're hours late for work. From ready to pass back out to instant anxiety fueled adrenaline in 0.2 seconds. And then you realize it's your day off, but you're already wide awake, and there's no way you're getting back to sleep. Was about to comment this. That's the worst, aside from actually being late for work. Such an emotional ride, haha. The end of that dream, where you really need a pee, and start to feel the satisfaction of warming release. I had a dream once that I had to pee bad, and so I went into the bathroom in my dream, and saw a urinal. So I was like, let's go. Anyways, I start peeing and it's just a waterfall of piss. Like, have you ever bought a really big drink and just drank it all in an hour? And then had to pee, and you're peeing so much that you have to stop the full stream for a second so that you can full stream again. That's exactly how it was, but it was just never ending. They kept going for what felt like 15 minutes until I woke up, and thankfully I hadn't pissed the bed. I don't know how I was able to hold it in through peeing so much in my dreams, but it was a relief. My dreams alert me that I have to pee in so many ways. One of them is the endless stream of pee as well, mayo. Another is I repeatedly go to the restroom with no relief. I also occasionally get ones where I start searching for a restroom, but either cannot find one or the only restroom I find is absolutely filthy. Luckily I've always woken up and have never had a bedwetting incident from any of these dream scenarios. What is with these dreams? I also get the same one where the bathroom is filthy. I'm stepping on the floor and it's just covered in urine or something. Or to top it off, I finally find a bathroom, but the toilet is like built into a bench or something weird. And there are a bunch of people throughout the bathroom getting changed, etc. So I'm on full display, but only I know it's weird, and they think it's normal. Brains are so strange. Thanks to a fever, stress, some medication, and too much wine, one night I woke up to my family yelling at me, asking what the hell I was doing, as I was standing next to my open dresser drawer, taking a long piss onto my folded pants. Sleepwalking as weird as duck. Oh, I got a story on that one. I once got drunk, started sleepwalking, and woke up to my parents yelling at me. I was laying in the middle of the stairs. I fell down about 7 steps without waking up. Left a few bruises. Good times. I was hoping the story was going to end with your parents yelling at you because you were peeing on them. I drank way too much whiskey and beer one night and woke up to my girlfriend screaming at me. I was standing beside our bed pissing all over it. All I remember was saying, "Turn off the light, I'm trying to sleep," while continuing to pee. She chucked a pillow into the hallway and kicked me out of the room. I woke up on the floor of the kitchen instead of a nice comfy couch we had, feeling pretty bad about myself. At first I thought you might be my ex, but I let him get back into bed and I slept on the couch. Got woken up by my dad early in the morning to inform me that my mother had passed away in the room across the hall from me. Worst part was that she was only sleeping there to look after a pup that was recently born from the 2 dogs we had at the time. Otherwise my dad might have woken up and been able to do something about it. The pup ended up crying late at night before or during her heart failure that I ended up passing off, as it's really not that uncommon. But it really makes me question if I could have done something or not to help her before it happened. Think about it regularly. Calling work and breaking down to my post boss wasn't great either, but hey, crap day. Sorry for your loss. I remember my grandpa was sleeping in the room across from me when he came up to visit. I heard a loud bang in the middle of the night, but didn't think anything of it. Then there was another a few minutes later. Poor guy fell. My dad found him, and we called an ambulance. Thankfully he is still alive to the day. If I may ask, what were the loud bangs? It was him falling. He got out of bed, and to get out you'd have to walk in between the TV stand and bed, and he must have tripped and fallen into the TV. He got back up and lost his balance again and fell down onto the floor. Waking up to 30+ missed calls with a brutal hangover and can't remember what you did last night, but you know it wasn't good. Panic. If it's a blackout drunk night, just waking up having not lost your phone is a win in my book. If you wake up at home with your phone and wallet still there, that's a total win. Wallet likely gonna be empty though. I once woke up in my bed with more drugs and money than I had the night before. I also lost 3 condoms, my headphones, 1 lens from my glasses, and I smelled like fish. I went out for a few drinks with friends and popped just before. I asked them what happened, and one of them said, and I quote, "Not sure, you saw some girl with her friend, I think you knew, you all screamed and you told us you'd be right back. Didn't see you after that." I'm guessing my memory gave out maybe 2 drinks prior, and I still never figured out who I saw, what happened, and how I still ended up in my bed. Started the night with 4 hits of ecstasy, woke up with 2 hits, 1 baggie of ketamine or cocaine. I don't do the latter anymore, so I threw it out just in case. 2 tabs of acid and $16 in lunas/tonies. Also, no fish but my beard stank of deep sea. Did I just rub a tuna over my face in a drunken stupor? Sure sounds like something I'd do, but where do I get fresh fish after midnight? Probably the wildest night I had, and I don't remember a second of it. Edit, I'm a ducking idiot. The fish part is really obvious. I was babysitting my niece one time, when she was about 4. I packed her off to bed and went to watch a movie on the couch, where I promptly dozed off, only to be woken a few hours later in complete darkness, having no idea where I was, and with a tiny, clammy little demon hand grabbing at my ankle. I've never been awake faster in my life, only to be greeted by a very confused child who just wanted a story, and who no one had seen fit to tell me could get over the baby gate like a goddamn ninja. We don't tell her mother about the time Aunt Hazel almost kicked her darling daughter through a window.